cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut.
Hey, yo, chat, look, boom. Oh, let's do this. We're here with the gamers. They've got cards on the table. Look at that.
Yeah, it's our editor told us to start doing props in the videos and like, having a set.
Okay, wicked.
Yeah. Oh, so how's the subathon going?
I mean, hey, it ends in 10 hours and 50 minutes, so that's good. 2 days, we'll be chilling.
Trust.
We'll be good.
Trust.
Yeah, it's going to end
sure.
in just shy of 11 hours. We got 1,700 subs. I'm happy. That's good. We're all good. We're excellent. Why aren't you on the couch? Should I be sitting on my couch? Is that what I should be doing, chat? No, the couch is too low. It's too low for the cam. It's fine. This is okay. But no, Subathon's going well. It's going well. I don't know. I'm down. This shit can go for like 3 weeks, and I'll tank it, no problem. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I do feel like 10 hours and 50 minutes though is kind of low. So if anybody in chat wants to use their free Prime available right down below in the
he knows. He knows. I appreciate that, dude. I love when people shill subs for me, so I don't have to. People say I shill a lot, but I don't think I do. I think I shill just enough.
Well, see, I've got this weird thing where I know just enough about Twitch to say use your Prime, but I don't know all the like hidden Twitch language and lingo because Twitch really does have its own language.
Oh yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah, it's something else. Let me say.
I would like to amend to that statement. Yet.
Ooh.
Yet. You don't know the language.
Oh,
yet.
Yeah.
No, you'll learn.
That's
you'll
fair.
learn. Trust me. You get on Twitch for a little bit of time, and you'll figure out the poggers, the bat chest, all that good stuff.
Yeah, my issue is that like I'll watch Twitch for say like I'll watch bits and pieces of your subathon, but I work like 50+ hours a week at like a normal job.
Stop saying
and then
chaos,
I
Max. He's not playing
to
it.
do content creation, so I just don't have time to watch Twitch. I love the content that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitch community puts out, but I just never have time to actually sit down and watch, unfortunately.
No, that's completely fair. I mean, I remember when I mostly started to watch Twitch a lot more was when I was working at the casino. I was working like night shift and shit. Every break at like 4 in the morning, I would watch whatever streamer was just live. There's not very many of them at that time, but I would just like pull up Twitch and just watch. It was a good pastime. It's like watching TV for me.
Yeah, for sure. I try to remember every month to go log on to someone's channel. I think right now this month it was Nim, and in 2 days it'll be you. But I just try to find someone on Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitch to give my Prime to.
Well, that's good. It's important to give your Prime because you don't want to give Jeff Bezos your money. Chat, if you guys have a Twitch Prime subscription, go scroll to the subscribe button, scroll to the bottom, click on that check mark, click on subscribe free with Twitch Prime so you don't give Bezos your money, you give it to me instead.
My goal is for us to end this 1-ish hour podcast with you having more time on the clock than when we started. That's my goal.
Okay.
So.
That's good. Chat, we have 10 hours 48. We started with 10:50. We need to end this hour-long podcast with at least 11 hours on that clock.
That's what I'm saying.
Noted.
Easy.
Well, it is, of course, a wonderful honor to be here on your subathon and to have you on the podcast. So
And we've hung out before. This is nothing new.
Yeah, we have. Absolutely. And before we get too much farther, I would like to thank you. So you may not realize this, but you have been more of an inspiration in the community than you might realize. You've been doing this for several years now at this point. When I came back into the game at the start of COVID, you were already one of the largest Twitch streamers in the community.
Oh my.
And really one of the largest content creators. And you are one of our inspirations for starting our own content creation journey.
No
So
shot.
I want to
No shot. No shot.
Yes.
Mr. Ruling Andy
Head
over
Battle.
here.
Yes, and you are also one of the reasons that tomorrow I am judging my first ever regional.
Yo,
do you
that's
do?
based. That's very,
You
very
play
based.
floodgates.
Congrats.
Yes. And so with that, I would love to ask you, Mr. Distant Coder, for some hints, tips, tricks that you might give someone that's judging their first regional or event. Because everybody has their first regional that they judge, you
Okay.
know?
Okay. So I will say I'm a bit of a fraud. I've only ever judged in person once. I have judged one regional as a floor judge, literally one time. I have not more than that.
me.
True, very true. No, so I judged one regional, but I've picked up a lot of things from watching other judges while I was like playing at events, because I used to typically play at regionals and stuff like that. I would very rarely judge. I think the most important thing when like judging for the first time or like the second time or something like that as a floor judge is to understand, because a lot of judges like doubt themselves a lot of the time, and it's like not a good thing. If someone asks you for a ruling, it's not a good thing to go, I actually don't know, give me a second, I'll go ask the head judge. That's like a no-no. You shouldn't do that. What you should do is give a ruling as best you can. So like you see a situation, they ask you for the ruling question, stuff like that. You give a ruling as best as you can. You give what you think is correct. And then if the players agree with it, then they'll continue. If they don't agree with it, they'll appeal. It's absolutely their right to appeal. And you should never feel upset that you got appealed or anything like that. Like players will honestly, I will appeal 95% of judge decisions at my duels. Even if like I am not, if at any point where I'm like 99% sure that he's like right or wrong or whatever, I'll appeal. So like being appealed is not a bad thing, and if you don't know a ruling, or if you don't know a ruling, you should use your knowledge to try and figure out what the ruling is, and then if the judges disagree, then you just at that point you get appealed, and that's fine, you know?
Yeah. Why is it kind of a no-no to say, hold on one second, let me grab the head judge because I'm not 100%? Because that feels like the first course of action that I would take. I'm glad you said something.
Well, it's not really that it's like a no-no. It's more so that they want you to like issue your rulings, because at the end of the day, if the head judge was there to take every call, then he just would, right? He wouldn't be the head judge. There wouldn't be any floor judges or whatever. So at the end of the day, the like logic behind it is you don't want to like lose face or anything like that. You need to be credible as a judge, right? You're there because you have the knowledge necessary to be able to take the judge calls, and it's completely fine to make a mistake, which I think is a good mentality to have, that it's okay to make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, there is that lifeline that the players are well within their rights to appeal any decision that you make. So realistically, if a judge makes a mistake on a ruling and the player doesn't appeal, it's more the player's fault for not appealing than the judge's fault for making a mistake, because people make mistakes. It's normal.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm pretty nervous going into this weekend. It's a new thing for me, and it's something that I wanted to try out, mostly because I wanted the cool little lanyard. But I still wanted to try it.
It's fine.
So.
Just don't make any mistakes. Issue all the correct rulings, and you'll be fine.
For sure. Guaranteed 100%. And real quick, before I go, do you want to explain the damage step to me? Because I only like kind of understand.
Bro, that'll take your entire podcast and then some, bro. I'm telling you.
We did have a podcast episode planned one day where I was like, dude, we need to explain the damage step. And then I remembered I don't understand the damage step fully. So I decided that would be a bad idea.
That's like a big pet peeve of mine, and I appreciate that y'all didn't do that. A big pet peeve of mine, bro, is when people make like ruling content or judge content or whatever, and then they either explain shit really wrong or really poorly. And it's just like, there is no way anyone clicks on this video and then comes out of this with the correct information in their head. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I watched a video. It was, I don't know, not when I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh, because we left in like Nats 2014 format, like summer of 2014.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we had stuff get stolen, and we were like, no, we're done. This is the second time this has happened. We're out, and we both,
that's cringe.
Yeah, we both sold out literally at the exact same moment. Like
Yep.
one guy bought all of both of our stuff.
Yep, same event. It was wild.
So we get out the game. We came back like beginning of COVID, like March, maybe May, June, something like that, 2020. Because need something to do, right?
Yeah.
And when I came back in, I didn't get to start going to locals for like a long time because COVID. So, but once I started going, I was like watching ruling videos, trying to like get caught up, like how do pendulums work? How do links work?
Man, I remember you calling me and being like, "Hey, Caleb, do you know how pendulums work?" And I went, "Okay, first off, to learn pendulums, you're going to want to get a strong drink. You're going to need this.
Yeah.
This is a surprise tool to help us later."
Yeah. It's, dude, I still like.
I'm gonna be
most-
honest. I think a lot more people have a hard time understanding links than they do understanding pendulum. I don't know. Maybe that's
Once
just
I-
me. I picked up pendulum
Yeah, I
really
agree.
easily when I started playing because I started in 2016, so I started right before links came out. I picked up like synchro, XC's, pens very easily. But then when links came out, I was like, bro, what the fuck? This destroys everything of how the game works and all that. It was weird. It was very weird.
Yeah, I had so pendulums make sense to me inherently because it's just like anything between these levels, you can summon it from your hand or face up ED, and it's just boom, it's free once per
Yeah.
turn. You can do it, and you have to have both scales. They have to stay. I think the scales have to stay up. But well, it's okay. It doesn't start a chain, so it's not like you can respond and pop a scale. But anyway,
Rulings.
so yeah. But like there's not really a lot of intricacy to it. You just do it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas link summons, I don't know why it took me a while to remember that you can't like overpay for a link summon.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was
Yeah.
a little weird for me to grasp.
I feel like it was weird because a lot of people were comparing it to like rituals for some fucking reason.
Yeah,
I think it's because they're both blue.
maybe.
That's very
don't know.
possible. Yeah.
The thing that really bugged me at first about links was the fact that there's no defense and no levels, so a lot of things confused me a lot.
Yeah. It didn't make
first, and-
sense for a lot of like mechanics that people were very used to in the game, you know? It was very, very
Yeah.
different. The last time they did anything like that was the ranks on XCs, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember when those were introduced, and they called it a nightmare because everybody was confused.
They're like, dude, my
Yeah.
gravity bind doesn't work. What the fuck? Shout out to Ackman,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking of that too. And Caleb was like, they don't have levels. And I was just like, listen to Ackman over here. I watched the entire like response video or whatever that he did
What do
with
you do?
Farfa, and I was
You
like,
play
I
floodgates.
see. Everything's coming together. It's all coming together.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, the whole process of getting into the game, especially now, is like very tedious because there's just so fucking much to learn.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had a leg up when we got back in because we already had a basic understanding. We knew how synchros and exceeds worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fusions,
So-
rituals. I already knew how pendulums worked.
Yeah, he came back and left again in between when I came back.
No, actually, Jason a friend of ours, Jason, stayed in,
Oh, okay.
and then
so
he
that's
taught
what it
me
was.
pendulums.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, I forgot what my next question was. It's still very early.
That's
Hold on,
fine.
I'll
Don't
just
worry
ask
about it.
one I'll just ask one of my two then.
Yeah, you do that.
We'll run it.
So, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a lot of strange interactions the cards have. An example of this would be Elemental Hero Necroid Shaman being a Roid monster.
True.
What's the most obtuse interaction you've ever encountered? I am curious.
Something like Necrod Shaman being a roid monster.
Not necessarily like, oh, this card is part of this archetype and it's dumb, but just something weird.
God, you are testing my knowledge at 9 a.m. Holy. Oh, the funniest
Showed up at
one.
my house asking this question at 8 in the morning. If that makes you
Yeah.
feel any better.
The funniest one to me was when that what's it called, the new Raviel card. It's not just like normal Raviel. It's the Scrapper Raviel or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That card was like people were like looking at the name and they were like, bro, this is the Shimmering Scrapper. People were like, bro, this is a scrap card. You can play it in scrap. It has scrap in its name. But it actually just isn't. It just doesn't work with it. Because in the OCG, like that's the thing. The TCG is like fake. The OCG is like the reality of it.
The TCG is fake.
So if the OCG name would contain like scrap in Japanese, then it would work. But because the OCG name doesn't, because the TCG name does, it doesn't work. It's really weird. It's very, very strange. But yeah, so they just had this, it was like Raviel the Shimmering Scrapper. And it's like, oh, this is a scrap card. We could play it in scrap, but then you just couldn't. It would be so hilarious if you could, though. It would actually have some utilities. You can summon it from deck with the scrap wyvern. It'd be so insane.
Wow.
That is wild.
I wonder if that would make it like a techable card in Dinos. Oh no, I got an ad. Somebody in chat gift me a sub so I can not have ads on the subathon.
Yo,
please.
true. The timer's going down, boys. What the hell?
Yeah, actually. So several people in chat have mentioned that the deck on the table here is indeed a Dark World deck.
Yeah.
And chat is not enthused about that because, well, it's hand loop. So what we're gonna do is, just for chat, we're gonna pick this up, Caleb.
Stop saying Chaos Max.
Yo,
y'all got gifted a sub, bro. Y'all got gifted a sub.
Let's go. Let's go. Unfortunately, the ads don't go away when, you know.
No, it's fine. This is free money right now.
Yes. Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Someone in the chat said, I think Dark Lord Nurse Reficule is not a Dark Lord in the OCG. It actually is. It wasn't a Dark Lord for a long time in the TCG because its initial release from the video game promo was, it was called, what was it? Norse Reficule, the Fallen One?
Getting a Red Bull ad while drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah, it was like Reficule, the Fallen One, and then they changed it to Dark Lord because in the OCG it was a Dark Lord. And the text in the TCG didn't reflect that, so they fixed it.
My favorite is when they errata cards to not that way they change an old card's name because they don't want it to be accidentally part of a not necessarily like an archetype but a group of cards. So, for example, them changing Forbidden Graveyard to Silent Graveyard. So it's not
I think the oldest example of that is actually Cypher Soldier being changed to Kinetic Soldier so that it doesn't work with the Cypher archetype. That was a funny one for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's like Frog the Jam, Red Eyes Black Chick,
Slime Toad. It's one of the worst crimes Konami's ever committed.
To be fair, they had to print except Frog the Jam on like every single frog card.
Yeah. Literally, they all said except Frog. Which, to be fair, they could have just made it work with Frog the Jam. Who would give a shit? Like, it's a fucking vanilla.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it doesn't.
Who cares?
But
Why is this an issue?
But because I think the issue came because it doesn't work like that in the OCG.
Well,
so
is the card? Did the card even come out in the OCG? Because I know it was like a McDonald's promo in the TCG.
I think that was it.
Know.
I think that was it, and then they changed the name to Slime Toad, and then re-released it normally.
That's hilarious.
Okay,
that
somebody in
so
chat,
funny.
because I respect chat, and I'm gonna pretend that chat knows that more than I do. So, chat, do we know if the McDonald's promo pack cards were TCG exclusives?
At least
That's
at the time.
the question here.
Yeah.
Right, at least at the time.
I'm gonna do some Google foo over here.
That's what I was doing.
Shout out to Slime
Yeah.
Toad. So yeah. Oh, dude, what? Okay, so the McDonald's promo pack were in 2002. In Japan, it released in 1999 in Premium Pack Japan. 1999.
Okay.
This shit came out in the OCG before the TCG existed.
Yeah.
That's
Just
wild.
kind of show you where we're at. Oh,
That's crazy.
I mean,
that's insane.
That's like having multiple tier 0 formats in the OCG before we got a card game.
True. Yeah. Shout out to Exodia, bro.
Okay,
Right.
so according to the fandom wiki, Slime Toad has only had 2 printings in the TCG. One was the McDonald's promo,
Yeah.
and the other one was an OTS
Errata.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
errata.
they changed its name to Slime Toad. Yeah.
Yeah. It is level 2.
Dude, that is Sprite synergy. Let's go.
Listen, if somebody can break Frog the Jam, or I'm sorry, Slime Toad in Sprite, hit me
Wait,
up.
chat, is Slime Toad in Master Duel? Maybe we could do Slime Toad Sprite. That could be good clickbait for a video.
Yo. That actually would be an awesome clickbait.
It is? Oh my god. That's what we're building, chat. We're building Slime Toad Sprite.
All right. So what if we just pivoted this whole podcast to Slime Toad Sprite?
True.
So let me ask you this: what's the next time I'm gonna see you? When are we gonna hang out again?
When I'm unbanned.
Well, the first time I saw you wasn't when you were unbanned. Was that just because it was close?
Yeah. I mean, I was in Toronto and y'all were in Niagara, so I went over with Ruggles and we went over because we were also shooting Duel Night during that weekend, and that's like an hour, an hour 15 drive. Like it's a very very easy drive, you know.
Yeah, I have to drive an hour 15 for locals. I get it.
Oh my god, for locals, I would not do that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
We don't do it too often. It's not like a multiple time a week thing for us.
Yeah,
It's like
once a month.
yeah, once or twice a month we go.
Okay.
But
fair.
On a rare occasion, 3.
Honestly, most of the time, if I need to do testing or anything, we just do games on our Discord server.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
fair.
yeah, we used to have remote duel locals, but we haven't done that in a while.
The guy we'd get to run it for us has just been way too busy.
And
That's
he
fair.
stepped out of the game.
I mean, in my opinion, remote
too.
duels were kind of ass. Like they were fun for about a month. They were good content for a month, and after that, it was just like, dude, can we just go back and play in person, please?
Yeah. And I conceptually like the idea of remote duels, especially for us, right? Because it's so easy for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a true like locals. So for us, remote duel was a really great way to still get in that experience. Like I'm going to 5 tournaments over the next like 8 or 9 weeks, or I'm gonna try to, because for us to go to regular tournaments, we have a regionals tomorrow at our locals in Shreveport, which is, like I said, like an hour 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then March 18th, we have the Houston regional, which is about a 4-hour and 10-minute drive for us.
Okay.
So we're gonna wake up at like 3 in the morning and go to
Y'all
that.
y'all drive 4 hours for a regional? Wow. That's crazy.
That's the closest, except for Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest a regional gets for us. Like
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. No,
Yeah, 'cause-
for a long time, I lived in Montreal before living in Toronto, and I would only go to Montreal regionals. I'd be like, okay, I'm going
Yeah.
to like get in my car, drive 30 minutes to downtown Montreal, and then park my car and play the regional, then go home. You know, that was just I don't know. I never was the type to drive hours out, except for like the one time where I actually flew for a regional, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. So March 18th, 4 hours and 10 minutes for Houston. I'm going to London,
Mm-hmm.
and then the weekend after London is a 5.5-hour drive for Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And then the weekend after that is another 4-hour drive to Mendenhall, Mississippi. So it's like you can't go anywhere in less than 4 hours for us.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy. That is
That's
insane.
at 80 miles an hour. So was it like 100 kilometers an hour?
To be
That's
fair, where we
probably
live,
more.
there's like
Yeah.
us playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And like maybe 2 other people above the age of 10.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So-
Okay.
And we live in a
Yeah.
college town. We
Yeah.
just haven't had any shop ever come up here to support it.
Yeah.
So there's never been a community built up.
That's like actually really weird because like when I lived in Montreal, downtown there's actually like 5 shops. Like within a half-hour drive from my place, I had like 5 different shops. I could literally, if I wanted to, go to locals every night. I just could. If I want to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturdays and Sunday during the day, there was a locals every single day downtown Montreal.
That's
Jeez.
crazy, dude. That's like the dream.
Yeah. You
So-
could literally just go whenever you wanted.
I think a lot of it for us is that we're from like the deep south, right?
Yeah.
We're
Mhm.
from Louisiana and not like the city part of Louisiana, like New Orleans, Baton Rouge. We're like the sticks, like the middle of nowhere, right?
Okay.
So for us, like where I grew up was about a 35-minute drive to the nearest stoplight. So
What? That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
You're out in the boonies.
And I was about
Literally, yeah.
and I was about a 40-minute drive. I was about
he
10
was even
minutes
farther.
past.
Yeah. So when we were growing up in the game, I remember our first ever tournament that we went to, because we were kids, but I had family that lived, in the city that the tournament was at. So we convinced our parents to drive us like 5.5 hours for a regional and got just smacked around all day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just with like little kids thrown together decks. It was rough.
Bro, I was running Blue Eyes, Montage. I
Classic.
did actually drop Montage using all 3 Blue Eyes, and then Dragon mirrored into Blue Eyes Ultimate.
Oh my god, hell of a deck.
That's
Wow.
where this is around Edison format. That's what that's the time frame we're talking here.
And then
Okay.
my opponent just looked at me while it was like, "Wow, that was really cool, dude. I'm sorry." Normal summon Shura Special Gale.
Good deck.
Yeah. Yeah, so for us being in the middle of nowhere, it really is kind of... There was a long period of time when things like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering were not allowed in a lot of households because they were considered like against the church. They were considered satanic and stuff like that. Like that was really... Like you always hear about that on like there's maybe a YouTube video where people make fun of that mentality, but that was really a thing where we grew up.
Listen. The satanic panic where we lived is still going.
Yeah, it really
From like the 1970s, still going.
It's bad.
That's crazy. That is wild to me.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty horrible, but I think that's a lot of the reason that we've never really had a successful small town locals scene, is just because there's never really been anybody that was old enough and had the capital and cared to actually do something. Now it would be somebody in our age bracket that would have to set something up and do something. And then in today's economy, I don't know, man. It's a lot.
True.
Yeah.
No, I could definitely see it. I definitely have seen a lot of card shops being opened up by people in their late 20s, early 30s. You know what I mean? So that's about that generation.
Yeah.
Right. So chat, we changed out the decks for you. I hope you're happier with purple cards. So, because Caleb built Labyrinth when it was cheap still.
Yeah.
Is this like money now? I wouldn't know. I know that like welcomes are like 40s or something.
Yeah, so the welcomes, well, I don't know what they are now because they just announced a reprint.
Yeah.
But
Oh, did they?
it was, the deck hasn't been out a year yet, and they've already announced a reprint. It's kind of crazy.
No, that's great. Love that.
Yeah, the welcomes are, last time I saw there were 50.
Mm-hmm.
The secret rare from Dabble is like 30 each.
Okay.
Oh, that's Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Those are bought out too. They're like $7 or $8.
That's crazy.
Nice.
That's wild. Nah, I mean,
Multiple trap deck.
I'm gonna keep it a stag, bro. I have not like purchased cards in months since the ban, bro. I've not bought any cards. All I've done realistically is I bought some goat cards because I put together a goat deck to play with some friends, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. It's still early. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think that if I was in your situation, I would have sold everything. So,
I do have a stack of cards that I am intending to sell. Yes.
I feel like everybody has that stack of cards on their desk. Like over there on my desk, I've just got like just laid out cards. I was taking pictures to like try to sell stuff. I gotta pay for London somehow, bro.
It must be hard
of
for you
cheap
guys out there to sell stuff, because like I have just like a bunch of shops. Actually, let me go on this freaking tangent here, bro. I don't know about you guys, but this shops out here, they don't let you just like walk in and sell them cards. It's wild. They're like, no, you have to submit a buy list. There's no one here that will look through your binder. Yeah, I was shocked, bro. I walked in with a binder of like a bunch of nice shit, and I'm like, yo, I have about 10K worth of value in this binder. I'd like to sell it all. And they hit me with the, yeah, no, we don't look through binders anymore. You have to submit a buy list of what you're trying to sell to us, and then we'll send you an email, and then you can come in and show us the cards. And I'm like, that's wild. I'm like, okay, while I'm here, can I buy some cards? And they're like, yeah, no, we don't have a showcase of cards anymore. You have to go online, place an order, then come the next day to pick up the cards. And that's every shop here in Toronto practically. And I was like, can I not walk into a store, buy a thing, and walk out? Is that like not the world we live in no more? That's wild. It was insane to me. I was like, what the fuck?
Today's episode is brought to you by ETB Games. ETB Games is, of course, our locals in Alexandria, Louisiana. They are our one-stop shop for all of our card game needs. They have singles and sealed product for the games that you love, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon. Of course, you can also find the accessories that you need, such as sleeves, binders, playmats, and more. And if you're into D&D, well, they have all of your D&D figurines, the paint for the figurines, dice, books, and anything that you would need to play. So be sure to check out ETB Games. There's a link in the description down below. And now, back to today's episode. What? Why is this system in place? What's the? Do they have a reason?
So my understanding, so the buying cards make sense because there's two shops. Well, most of these shops either have multiple locations or have a warehouse where they store most of the cards. So you have to give them a day to like grab them from the warehouse and bring it, which makes sense. But like the whole we don't look through your binder to buy cards sounds outlandish to me. I told this to Gage, to Nim, and he was just like, bro, that's fucking crazy. I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I've never heard of this before.
That's
like,
insane.
It was really weird to me. And like I've seen at literally YCSs, the vendors will have like dedicated employees to just look through binders and stuff like that.
That's all they do.
And I get to the shop and there's like three guys just like, you know, sitting at their PCs, not working. They're just talking to each other. And I walk up to them and I go, yo, can one of y'all look at my binder, pull out some cards that you want to buy and whatever. And they're like, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, then what do you do? Like, what's the purpose? Like, you know?
Like, is this a place where you buy and sell trading cards?
Yeah,
or
apparently.
not?
Apparently, I don't know. It was very
That's
weird.
insane.
Very, very strange to me.
Yeah, that is actually the craziest thing I've heard in a while. I can't even fathom that.
I'm flabbergasted. What on earth?
That's a good word, flabbergasted.
Some of my chat is pointing out that it's that and 50% on trade-ins. I actually don't mind. Like, that stack that's there, like, these are cards that I will never, ever, ever touch. If I walk into a shop and they offer me 50 or 60%, I'll do it. I don't care. I do not give a shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. So we actually are sponsored by the two locals that are closest to us.
Okay.
So we plug them on the podcast and get a little store credit, which is nice. And we also get like a little bit better rate on trade-ins and when we buy stuff.
Okay.
So it's nice to be able to like take my stuff there, and they won't buy everything. They don't buy bulk usually.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have like, I was like, okay, I need to sell these cards. I can usually get like, if I do store credit, I can do like 60% usually.
Fair enough.
Yeah. If I try to do cash though, it's like 30. So I don't do that.
What? 30% cat? That's wild. That's a ripoff. Absolute scam.
Yeah, most of the shops around here, the cash offer is really, really low.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why.
I mean, to be fair, where else are you going to go?
That's fair. Around here, that's fair.
There was this one thing when I lived back in Montreal. I actually lived in like a small town about like 30-40 minutes out from Montreal, and the locals out there just did not buy or sell Yu-Gi-Oh singles. They just had like the sealed product, and the reason why is because there was not enough Yu-Gi-Oh players out there that it was like not worth to buy singles, because then it would sit in the showcase for fucking years.
Yeah. Dude, our local Walmart stopped selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or stopped selling trading cards in general.
Yeah, we
That's
haven't
wild.
Seen a trading card in our local Walmart in over a year.
Yeah,
That's
like,
probably
they
because of
still
the whole
have-
Pokemon bullshit, right? During COVID, where people were going absolutely mad.
No, after that they kept selling. It's just that about 6 months ago, I think.
No, it's been over a year.
Yeah. Where they just stopped.
January of last year, like the first of the year last year, after the first of the year last year, they did not restock
Yeah.
a single card game product
That's
all
crazy.
last year. And they still haven't.
Yeah, like to be fair, they still have like some Magic, like
Pre-con decks.
pre-con
That have been
decks,
sitting there for over a year
And
that
no one's-
nobody will buy.
especially now since a lot of the cards have rotated out and can't be used anymore.
It is. It's actually insane. But my biggest thing with it is that I think, from what I understand, I feel like I maybe asked an employee in the back one time because, like, for work I'm a UPS driver, so like I go to like back doors of these places and I talk to people at work and receiving. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was actually a theft issue.
Oh,
I can definitely see that.
Yeah,
I know
that
there's a
was
lot
what,
of there's a lot of people that would
said.
like come to like Walmart and stuff with like one of those like small knives, like letter opener knives, and they would like open up the like just tear open the back of the blister pack like super subtly, pull the pack out, put it in their pocket, put the blister pack back empty. Like that was like a thing that apparently happened a lot.
I had a friend of mine that went to a Walmart not too far from here, and he is actually one of our moderators in the Discord server. He also buys Pokemon cards, and he went to Walmart and bought a Pikachu Pokemon tin. And as far as he could tell, it was fine. It was still sealed up in a wrapper and everything.
Oh my!
He gets out to his vehicle, opens it, and the Pikachu card is just scotch taped to the front of the tin to make it look like it hadn't been opened, and everything inside was gone.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah.
That's insane. Actually,
I couldn't believe it. He sent me pictures of it, and I was like, that's actually the most insane thing that I've ever seen somebody do to steal packs. To buy it and then tape the Pikachu on with scotch tape,
Rewrap it.
rewrap it, and return it to the store. That's a lot of effort.
that
for
is
some
really
packs of
crazy.
Pokemon cards.
That's very very crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, I do want to say though that it was a theft issue. People would like go in and they would grab like say 6 packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They grab the blisters. They would walk up to the self-checkout and run them over the scanner 3 at a time and only pay for like 1 or 2 and grab like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That honestly, that self checkout, I've always felt like that's like a big old open door inviting you to just steal shit, right? There's no person there to you know, monitor it.
I think that I don't know if it's just because they have to pay less cashiers, so the daily monetary value lost isn't really worth, making a fuss over.
Maybe.
I don't know if that's it, or maybe Walmart is just like a multi-billion-dollar organization and they just don't care.
It's possible. But I think it makes sense that they stop selling the trading cards because of that. Like, if it's being stolen all the time, then you just fucking stop. It's fine.
Yeah. So, I want to ask you about Master Duel. I know you stream a lot of Master Duel content, and I did want to ask you how you felt Master Duel has kind of changed the Yu-Gi-Oh streaming space. Because, I mean, it used to be when I clicked on a Yu-Gi-Oh stream at any given point, maybe you're taking judge calls, Farfa is making content for his YouTube, or, something different is happening everywhere. I feel like everybody's kind of centralized in on Master Duel, and it's not that that's a bad thing because I think Master Duel is really an excellent visual product. I think that Konami did a great job making it appealing to watch. I don't know if that was their main goal, but it really is a blast to just sit down and watch a stream where someone's playing Master Duel.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing is that it has kind of centralized what a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh streamers are doing, and not everybody. On on any given day I can go find people that are streaming, DB content or whatever. But I have seen I feel like Master has gotten really popular, and you've even seen other content creators outside of the normal Yu-Gi-Oh space, like Saikuno's been doing a lot of Master Duel, things like that. So I was wondering how you feel like it's impacted the Yu-Gi-Oh content creation scene.
I feel like right now with the way Master Duel is, if you're doing Yu-Gi-Oh content and your Yu-Gi-Oh content isn't streaming Master Duel, your stream won't grow. Like it'll grow a bit, but it won't grow as much as it would if you were streaming Master Duel. Just because I feel like the amount of people that have started playing Yu-Gi-Oh or started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again because of Master Duel, they won't give a shit about your TCG stream or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, shout outs to Pac, bro. Pac's been killing it with the whole like Trap Trick Structure deck and stuff like that. But him doing like, I'm gonna play the absolute brand new cards Trap Trick Structure deck at locals and stuff like that. In my opinion, that just, it's really good for the people that care about the TCG. But I feel like you build a wall between yourself and all the Master Duel people that seek Master Duel content. Like, I feel like there's a big thing. There's a big divide between people that want just Yu-Gi-Oh content and people that want Master Duel content. And from that perspective, I think it's important to realize that there's a lot of people that only seek Master Duel content. And if you do Master Duel content, you appeal to those people as well as the people who just like Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole, you know?
Right. So, hear me out. I have a really good reason that Max C is still legal in Max.
No, stop. I
have a great reason.
That card there's no reason for it, but sure, I'm listening.
No. There's one good reason.
Okay.
It's because every time it gets activated, a streamer loses his shit, and it's great reaction content.
Maybe
content.
Maybe
content.
I've lost my voice multiple times because I got Max Seed. I'm not gonna lie. So hey, I can see it. I can definitely see it.
It makes too much sense for it to not be at least partially true.
I just have this image in my head of some dude at Konami just like watching Master Duel streams in the background, and every time Max C gets activated, he goes, we're keeping that card forever.
No, fuck that, dude. Absolutely fuck that. I can't stand this stupid card. Like, that is the one reason why I think Master Duel is dog shit at times.
So, I had this debate with a friend of mine for the longest because he was like a Max C truther. He was like, yeah, Max C fixes the game. It puts combo in check. You know, he's like, we need Max C to come off the ban list. He bought ultis. He was ready. He had the stonks. And finally, about 6 months ago, he was like, he called me and he was like, all right, dude, you win. Max C can never come off the ban list. I was like, what? What changed your mind? He was like, I booted up Master Duel. I was like, yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When Master Duel first
insulates them.
When Master Duel first released, a lot of people, including myself, were like, you know what? It's kind of refreshing to play with Max C. Like, a lot of people had that, you know, you played the first couple of games, you got Max Seed once or twice, you're like, oh, you know, like, this is a thing now. It's okay, it's fine. You Max Seed 2-3 people, you're like, this feels pretty good. And then, bro, I think 2 weeks in, everyone was already like, yeah, you know, I'm already fucking fed up with this stupid card.
Yeah.
Like, it's so dumb. It is absurd.
I remember that. I have this like faint memory of people just like, you know what? It was cool at first.
What do?
Yeah.
I'm
you play
over it.
Floodgates.
I'm over it.
Yeah. It really is
And
just
now
like
it's
one
like
of those
purple
things.
Sprite.
Yeah, I mean, Sprite is kind of crazy right now. But I feel like it's like that thing where Konami will like what they did with Snatch Steal, right? They unbanned Snatch Steal for a format, and I'm sure for like the first 3-4 days, people were like, "Yo, Snatch Steal, get fucked, idiot! This is fucking cool." And then after a week, they were like, "Bro, put this card back on this freaking ban list, dude. What the hell?"
So, I guess the next question going forward is, what do you think that Master Duel needs to do to take that next step to where it's not just appealing to people that want Master Duel content, but it's more appealing to anybody that would want Yu-Gi-Oh content? Because like you said, I feel like there is kind of a divide between your Master Duel content watchers and your Yu-Gi-Oh content watchers. Even though it's all the same game, it's different.
I mean, in my opinion, so obviously the clear-cut answer is best of 3. But I think if you make the game best of 3, I think you very much do alienate a lot of the Master Duel audience. I actually ran a poll on Twitter asking people where they primarily play, if they play on PC, console, or mobile. And there's basically 2/3 of the people play on PC, and the other third play on console or mobile. And I feel like if you're playing on console or mobile, you're probably not looking to sit down for 45 minutes for a single game. Like, I can't even imagine a single game that you will sit down and play for 45 minutes straight for a single game.
I think it'll be longer than 45 minutes because of all the animations.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Like, look at it this way, right? If you sit down to play Call of Duty, a Call of Duty game lasts, what, 10, 15 minutes? If you sit down to play a game of FIFA lasts, what, 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes? Like,
I don't know. I'm American. I don't know soccer.
so most people won't sit down and be like, I'm going to play a match of Yu-Gi-Oh! For 40, 45 minutes, which realistically a best of 3 with siding would go there. In my opinion, I think the best way to, like, keeping in mind that best of 3 is obviously better, if they really don't want to go with best of 3 but want to do something, I think best of 1 can work, provided that you have an unbelievably aggressive ban list. If you make the game tailored, like, you make the ban list wild. You have to make it fucking crazy, tailored for best of 1, with the idea being, we're going to make this ban list, and this ban list is going to make it so that most games are going to go to turn 4, turn 5. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest thing, is that in that best of 1 format, you don't just want to get full comboed by Adamantipator, which I'm showing my age, I guess. I haven't played Master Duel since Adamantipator was the best deck.
It's still good.
If you're getting...
Still very good.
Okay.
They put Block Dragon to 1, bro. The consistency got hit. It's not like you can search it with a rank 4, right?
Oh my god. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I played Master Duel for like 2 weeks. I was like, all right, well, that was fun. And I just stopped. I picked it back up once to get a free Royal Rare like a week ago, and that was it.
Oh, you get 2 more of
I
those.
mean, I played.
Yeah, I can't be bothered. I'm too busy.
Listen. I play
on PS4, so for me, it's like, you know.
Listen, I played it originally for like a month. I didn't even bother to get the roll rares.
Yeah,
that should say something.
Yeah, no, I've been grinding it. I like it. I like Master Duel a lot. It feels good to play. It feels better than YGO Pro and EDO Pro and all those like pros and stuff like that. Yeah. It feels a lot better to play. It's a lot more nice visually, like genuinely from a visual standpoint. It's a very, very amazing product. But just the amount of bullshit and tomfoolery that happens when you're playing this game is wild. Because you know, it doesn't even have to be like you go first and you full combo at Emancipator, blah blah blah. Like, even if you're going first and your opponent just opens Max C and you don't have the response for it, you have one of 2 choices. You either go all in and then they have 30 cards to out your board, or you just stop and then they kill you anyway. You know, it's like, okay, nice.
Yeah, I just, my biggest issue, honestly, is I feel like there's so much more that they could do with it, and they're just not. For example, my favorite things in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are playing advanced TCG, which I can't do on Master Duel because there's no TCG format, and playing Time Wizard, which I can't do because there's no support for Time Wizard format, because I can't even craft half the cards because they're on the ban list.
So the way that I look at it, and I actually spoke to Pac about this a lot, and Pac had a really good take on this. He says Master Duel, a lot of people wanted it to just be the ultimate TCG, OCG simulator and whatever. But at the end of the day, like you said, you like Time Wizard format, you like advanced TCG format.
Right.
Master Duel is just its own format. It's literally like you say, oh, I'm playing Rivalry of Warlords format at the YCS, something like that. I'm playing Master Duel format. It's just you have to look at it as it is not the same game. It is not the same format. It is its own game with its own format and all that stuff. And that's fine, provided you have a ban list tailored for that. That's the only thing that I'm just like, this is fucking annoying and frustrating, because like all they really need to do is just ban everything, bro. Just ban everything, make everything ass, and then go from there.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound like such a weird thing to gripe about when Max C is legal, but even cards like Droll and Lancia feel oppressive if you just, and they're not common, right? Because it's best of 1.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I've come across them and been just beside myself, because there are so many combo decks that sometimes Droll almost like makes sense as a deck choice, and even Lancia at times, but just those lingering floodgates like that.
I mean, I've had this opinion, like when I say like that they need an aggressive ban list, in my opinion, you ban everything that is remotely a floodgate, everything that is like a lingering floodgatey effect, like Lancia, like Joel. And I go to the extent, bro. You ban shit like the super easy OTK enablers. You ban access code. You ban Boral Sword. You ban update jammer. Like high key, just ban all of that in Master Duel. Make the game super watered down, because once you get to the point where every single like crazy generic card that everyone plays gets absolutely murked, then at that point you have a format that goes to turn 3, turn 4, and isn't just maxi minigame every time, you know?
Dude, Giant Skyhawk has really won me over with the anti-Boral Sword, anti-access code argument. I used to be like, no, they're fine. I genuinely believe those cards could be banned in the TCG. They really do make ending games generic.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know how much I agree with that in the TCG, but they definitely do. Like, I remember when Boral Sword was, like, before access code ever even existed, when Boral Sword was just the card that ended every single game, people were hard crying for this card to get banned for a long fucking time. And then access code came out, and now people are just like, oh, no, I just like access code. And then there's like, Boral Sword's fine. It's like really weird. Like the mentality has shifted, but there were so many people that really just wanted Boral Sword banned. It was insane.
Yeah, the more I think about it, though, it really does feel like any deck that runs blue cards in the extra deck, you just make access code and win the game, you know? With Tri Brigade, I wasn't trying to end the game a lot of times with the inherent power cards of the deck, like Sure Egg and things like that. It's like, oh, let me just make access code. It's so much easier.
Let me summon a guy, banish 3, easy.
Prank Kids, too. Prank Kids was the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not trying to like win the game with like my actual engine and any kind of a resource grind. Let me just summon this guy, pop 3, and go.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And Appaloosa feels the same way. I feel like Appaloosa centralizes end boards in the same way that Electromite centralizes pendulum decks.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I feel like Appo is like an okay card. I feel like that card's like fine. I don't see much of a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have like a direct issue with Appaloosa because I hate Drytron, but I don't know. I feel like there is some kind of, the more of these generic, extreme like end board power card links that get released, the more generic things go. Which I guess,
I mean, yeah, I feel like right now there is a big issue with like everyone's extra deck, like 5 to 8 cards in everyone's extra deck are exactly the same. You know what I mean? If you're playing a Link deck, you're playing IP, Phoenix, Unicorn, Access Code, Transcode, stuff like that. You know, it's like you're all playing the exact same cards. If you're playing an Xyz deck, every single Xyz deck has Zeus, which also is one of those like win conditions if you're playing Xyz cards and stuff like that. If you're playing Synchro deck, you know you're playing Baron. Yeah, exactly. You just have those cards that are just auto includes in the deck, and every game feels like a different flavor of the same thing. So like you'll look at, you know, you'll have any deck that Link summons, it's my end board is Appaloosa IP and I make access code to kill you. And it's like, okay, cool. So every single Link deck just does that. And then every Synchro deck is like, I'm going to end on maybe a boss monster from my archetype plus Boral Savage not Appaloosa, Boral Savage plus Baron. And it's like, okay, so that's your Synchro strategy. Cool. And Xyz, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go second. I'm going to make an Xyz. I'm going to attack into a defense position monster and I'm going to clear your board, you know?
Yeah, or I'm going to just make Baguska.
Yeah,
you know?
Pretty much. That's just the classic at this point.
Oh, dude. Baguska's another one that can just go, honestly.
Baguska was wild, dude. That card was ass when it released.
Really?
Yeah, so that card was released right after Links started. And everyone was on just Links because you had to be on Links. So to make Baguska, you either just made Baguska in your EMZ and passed, or you had to make a Link and then make Baguska. So it was a lot harder to get a lot of value out of it.
Someone in chat mentions, what about Pendulum? Well, you see.
Pendulum does all of that together.
Yeah. And Pendulum had that centralizing card that was in all their extra decks. And now they don't because Konami didn't like that.
And now they have Beyond the Pen, which does the same thing, sort of. It's just not as well.
Yeah. Also, a good mention, Trouble Sunny. that card is a great example of an actual in-archetype boss monster
Mhm.
that fulfills those conditions of kind of like an interruption end board monster. You can
Yeah.
use it to go for game, but it's within the design spectrum of the archetype. So you can run other things, but there's really no need to because you have Trouble Sunny.
Yeah.
I love the design of that card. I hate the playing against the deck because it's just why
Hand
do
trap
you have all
turbo.
my hand traps in your hand?
Yeah, hand trap turbo.
Yep.
But hey, Unchained is a good example of this, bro. You pass out a link too that's a disruption, and it climbs into Unicorn, and then it's another disruption. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I've never played against Unchained before once in my entire
Best deck,
life.
bro. Actual best deck.
I see you always plugging Unchained. I remember
Yeah.
you giving away the Starlight, right? On the first subathon.
I did give
I
away
remember
Starlight.
that.
Yeah, I did do that.
That
Crazy.
said, I have no idea what that deck does.
Best deck.
No idea.
Actual best deck.
I know it does a lot. I know it does a lot of self-popping, where it pops its own stuff to get off other effects.
Yeah, every time
All I
your
know-
shit's popped, it floats. Love it.
All I know is that deck is tier 0, right?
Oh yeah, busted. Unbeatable.
Best
Oh.
deck ever.
Forever and ever.
Yeah. Well, we're rolling up on the hour mark. So there's one last thing that I want to do with you.
Okay.
We do this with all of our guests. It's always great for the reactions.
Oh my.
And before I finish, we're gonna read off our patron names.
Oh, okay. I love this. I'm sure this is going to be
So-
fantastic.
Some of them are inside jokes. Some of them are just really stupid.
For the inside jokes, we'll kind of give a quick explanation.
Anything mentioning a floodgate is because we had a multi-episode discussion. It keeps coming back up
Yeah.
on whether or not Appaloosa is a floodgate.
It's not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Thank you.
No, Appo's not a
You
floodgate.
have no
It's not.
idea. You have no idea how much of a discussion this has been. You have no idea.
That's
My
hilarious.
opinion. So the funniest thing is that my opinion will switch depending upon whichever one will stir the pot the most.
Hmm.
And this is why we have the issues we have.
Fair.
This is it.
I mean,
And look. See this? See this? We have it in the chat. It's happening already. This is a debate. I asked Pac this, and he just was confused. Like, obviously, it's a floodgate. I don't know
What?
what you're talking about.
No. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
And then
no,
I had to explain to him. Well, I say I had to explain to him. I put my side of the argument across, which is that Appaloosa is not a continuous effect that restricts your opponent. And he's like, okay, well, by that definition, sure. But, like, it blanks, like, 4 cards in your opponent's hand, potentially. Like, potentially. Play purple cards. Then you don't have to worry about it.
I mean,
It's
fair.
just...
But I mean, you could say that same argument about, like, Tikaboo. If you just play purple cards, you don't have to worry about it, But
yeah.
it's a
Right.
disruption. It's not a floodgate.
Right. So let's go ahead and read off our patron names.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions or just want to get a laugh, feel free to stop us.
Send it.
So a huge thank you to all of our patrons. Dragon Maid Stunzeed, which is just D's nuts backwards. Max D's, Kane Martin, Zyphorus, Blackwing, Silverwind the Ascendant is the best floodgate. That is a patron that won our Top Cut podcast invitational with Blackwings at the beginning of Tirishizu format.
Why don't we play? Yeah.
Yeah. Boy Who Lived, Come to Die, I activate D Barrier. That's a new one.
Interesting.
Earth Machine Best Deck. Cope.
Peeps. Shout out to Peeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epi, has anyone actually read Toy Vendor? That one is not Giant Skyhawk. I've checked.
Pog.
HGH Cyber, I Am McLincoln, Monstratron, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado. Quitting the game is a floodgate. True.
Okay.
Unbanned number 95, Konami. Understanding and reading are 2 different things.
Real.
I've started using that. Virtually Savior's World, where Flame Swordsman support Konami. Rogue and Tier 2 are the polite terms for bad deck.
Real.
AD, Aaron Gardner, Asami, Ashless Chaps, Atsuyo, Simp of the Silver Castle, Boxwine, Cyberdark Duelist, Duty Booty, Dragon Maidenless Behavior.
That's my
A
favorite.
classic. It's always my favorite. Curio's Pebble Cereal. I'm about to Rika Glamour tribute for Costy's Plant Nuts in Your Mouth. Just
Wow. That was a bad one.
everyone.
That was really bad.
Yeah, well, I don't. They're not all great, but I never turn down the money.
Fair.
Cam, the Hockey Walkie Slush Mixer, Old Man Red, Pin Code 143, Santa Claus, and Valence Hojo Mama? Valence.
Oh, Valence.
That's a new one.
Valence. It's a Valence reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So. Oh, dude. The Alex Simo is one thick bish. Let me see that progressy. Somebody referenced that in chat.
Mm-hmm.
That will always be one of my favorite moments in the community. And the MBT spit take, hearing that,
Oh my god.
that'll always be one of my favorite
That was
moments
a
of all
very
time.
good clip. Yeah, that was a very good. For those of you that don't know, that was one of Simo's patrons for
That was
History Yu-Gi-Oh. It was so funny.
It was such a perfect moment. MBT takes a huge drink of water right as he says it. Oh, classic. So, with that said, the timer is below where we started. So I'm now holding the stream hostage until the timer is above where we started.
Yo, chat, we need literally 60 gift subs right now. Yo, Batman, thank you for the gifty, bro.
Stop
Appreciate it,
saying
man.
Chaos Max. He's
That's
not
right.
playing
You're not
it.
getting good content until you gift 60.
Yeah,
Come
we
on.
literally need 60 subs so that we can. Yeah, they're begging for me, chat. Oh, bruv, me card just locked at me bank. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
let me hold.
Do I
60
need to
subs,
start
yeah.
talking in whale? I will start doing whale talk. I
I'm
watched
doing that,
Finding
I'm
Nemo.
leaving.
He's leaving.
What do you do?
Darker Rose,
You
thank you for
play
the Prime, guys.
floodgates.
If you guys have Twitch Prime, click on the subscribe button, scroll to the bottom, click on the check mark, click on subscribe to Twitch Prime so you can give me your money instead of giving it to Jeff Bezos. It's absolutely free, by the way.
Literally
yeah.
free. It's as free
Literally
as
free.
subscribing on YouTube.
Yeah, quite literally, as
So-
subscribing on YouTube.
It is. So thank you so much for having us on. I really do appreciate
Oh no,
making
no
this
problem.
work.
This is fun. This is very fun.
Yeah, and I wasn't kidding at the beginning. You really were a pretty big inspiration for us to
Stop
start
saying
our
Chaos
content
Max. He's not
creation journey.
playing it.
That's actually really wild to me when people tell me that because I'm just like, but how? And I think the thing that blew my mind the most is like, so most of the content creators that I've started started the game watching, I just ended up like passing them in subs and stuff like that. And it's just so wild to see like these people that I really, really loved watching when I started and then growing alongside them and then, you know, making my own like success in this community is really insane to me.
Right.
Thank you for the gift subs, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So there is one other thing that I want to thank you about. Thank you
Okay.
for, and this is very specifically for me. This doesn't apply for Caleb, he had to make a bathroom run. But
Okay.
so this one is a bit personal, and I've never come out with this in the community before because it's not something that I've always been super comfortable coming out with. But
Okay.
we did not used to have video on the podcast. This is a new thing for us. I say it's new. We've been doing it for like 6-8 months now. And the reason is because according to my doctor anyway, it's actually OCD, where I have obsessive compulsions. And, you know, a lot of times you'll see me do things with my mouth or my
Yeah.
eyes and things like that. And that was something that I never wanted to put on camera because I was always very, very nervous to put that on camera. And you are, yet again, an inspiration that made me more comfortable with myself being on camera and accepting that I am who I am and that I don't have to worry about somebody saying something or about somebody making fun of me because at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love. And, you know, if that's a problem for them, then they can leave.
Exactly. That's a massive W. No, I have that same feeling. Like I used to feel very very worried about, you know, the whole, cause I twitch with my face, my hands, my shoulders or whatever. I twitch a lot. And I feel as though a lot of people tell me that they don't realize it much and whatever, but I know that I do. I know that I do twitch quite a bit, and I've toned it down as much as I can, and I think I've done a pretty decent job of it. But I'm glad that it's like for a long time there was a lot of people that used to point out in my chat, go like, "Oh, why are you making weird faces and stuff like that?" But then at the end of the day, like they just stopped doing that, and literally I was so happy. Like I'm very happy that I get to do this, and people have stopped. So yeah, literally don't worry about it. A couple of people will say stuff, and then you tell them to fuck off, and then the rest of the people that aren't pieces of shit will stay. and that's a good thing.
Yep. Well, hey, thank you so much for the things that you do for the community. You know, I know
dude,
it doesn't
no
always
problem.
feel like it. But,
Nah, it's I try to do my best. I know everyone tries to do their best. You guys do a fantastic job too. Like everyone, I feel like everyone in the Yu-Gi-Oh space just genuinely does like a really really good job of maintaining positivity and pushing out negativity a lot. A lot of people do, you know.
Yeah. My goal at all times, and I realize that we are extremely small, right? But I think that is, in my head, the ground level is where it starts.
Fair.
If you can take all the small communities and weed out the bad actors, right? So, like in our Discord server, we don't really like tolerate people being stupid and idiots, right? And if you start that at the lowest levels like us, the smallest creators start it in their communities, then it trickles up to the biggest creators in their communities, and the more we as a community come together to make sure that people know this is not okay, the better that we as a community can do at building this community to be what we all know it can be and what we want it to be. So
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, listen, still not enough time on the timer, but I do not want to take up the entire stream. So thank you for having us on. And
thank you guys.
Good
Thank
luck
you guys.
with the rest of your subathon.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much, and
Yes.
I'll talk to you all soon.
Hey, listen, quick plug. If anybody in the chat is interested in hearing us do regular podcasts twice a week, you can find us on Spotify.
Yo, Top Cut Podcast chat. Top Cut Podcasts.
So,
all right.
Hey, have a great stream.
Thank you so much,
take it
guys.
easy,
I'll
man.
see you all around.
All
Bye.
Bye.